Please join me in the golden chain. Is that right? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Now we have Gatha. I'm a link in the golden chain on the second page of the little book, followed by the golden chain located on page 2 in the little book and page 15 in the big book under golden chain 1.
I'm a link in the golden Please join now in the reading of Golden Chain.
I am a link
in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world.
I will keep my link bright and strong.
I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful words, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Mr. Jones. Okay. Yes.
Good morning. Hope everybody is more organized than we are this morning. Please join me in Gassho. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So we're in the holiday season already. You're probably beginning to think about the break from school, seeing your friends and family more, maybe even about presents. So this is where I would normally talk about how you should be grateful for all the things around you and the family that you have that's there surrounding you. People love you all around you. And by the way, you should be grateful, but that's not what I want to talk to you about today. Today I want to talk about you. As adults, we talk to each other all the time about that we should take care of ourselves. After all, if we're not healthy, both physically and mentally, then how can we take care of anyone else? Instead of reminding you, the younger people, about how grateful you should be, I think it's time we talk to you in the same manner. We want to know how well you're doing. So the younger people, usually we're talking to people 25 and up, right? People who are already out on their own, they're through with school, they're out working. But today, really, I want to address my message to those of you who are still in school, still in college, high school, elementary school, and so on. So what do I mean that you deserve to feel good too? What does it take for you to feel good? It might depend on what you already have or what you're used to. But what if you're homeless? What if you didn't have a house or apartment to go home to after school? To you, feeling good might be to have a place to sleep. Having a regular place to sleep that's just for you and your family might be one of the most important things to you. It's been getting a lot colder recently. If you were homeless, feeling warm might not be possible. So having a regular place to sleep and having that place be warm might be the most important thing. And with all the rain we're getting in the last few days, staying dry might be important to you. Having a warm, dry place for you and your family to sleep every night might be the most important thing if you were homeless. That seems pretty basic. Generally, when people are homeless, getting a regular meal is a challenge. Today, you might be unhappy if you ask mom for a snack, but she tells you dinner is just a few minutes away and she doesn't want you to spoil your dinner. But what if there was not only no snack, but also no dinner coming in the next few minutes? Now you can add having enough to eat to your list of things that you want so you can feel good. Maybe you, and I do hope that all of you here can honestly say that you do have a regular place to sleep, and it's warm and dry, and you have enough to eat. That's fantastic. That takes care of the physical side of feeling good. But what about the mental side of feeling good? So here's another question. Do you feel heard? That is, do you have somebody to talk to? Someone who will listen to your stories? Someone whom you can ask questions? Someone who will tell you things that make you feel better when you're feeling down? We all want to be heard. It could just be having someone to listen to us. Sometimes it doesn't even matter what we're talking about as long as they'll listen. Maybe it's someone who will answer your questions about anything at all. Maybe what you would like is to have someone who takes enough interest in you to ask you questions about your day, about your friends, sports, music, whatever. So let's talk a little bit about being heard. When someone is talking to you, asking you about your day, or telling you something they think is interesting, what are you doing while they're talking? Do you have a phone or some other type of electronic device in your hands? Are you playing video games or watching something on TV? What about the person who's asking you about your day? Are they staring down at their phone while they're asking you the questions? Are they paying attention to your answers? When you're having a conversation with your parents, or with anyone for that matter, everyone involved in the conversation should be giving it their full attention. Sometimes the best place to have these conversations is in that nice warm house, maybe over dinner when everyone is there, not in front of the TV with the football game or your favorite show going on, and not while you have a phone or a tablet in front of you. Give your full attention to the conversation. Actually, that last one, having someone to talk to, leads us straight to my last question. Do you feel safe? Do you feel like the place where you live and the people who live there with you are helping to protect you and to keep you safe? Are you able to bring up any topic you need to? There can be some really difficult conversations that you need to have. For the more difficult conversations, you may want to tell your parents that you need to talk to them after dinner. Is there a subject at school that's turning out to be really hard? Is there someone who's treating you badly? Or do you have a friend who has told you that they're being treated badly? Does one of your friends seem very unhappy or scared? It's okay for you to let mom and dad know what you think or what's going on. You don't have to fix the problem. The thing is that some of the things that are bothering you may require help from someone else. Part of growing up is that we have times when things aren't going the way we'd like them to go. It may not be our fault, but even if it is, the important thing is to work on the problem. And no one can help if they don't know that there is a problem. Mom and dad are there to help. They are there to protect you. But they can't help if they don't know there's a problem. You need to let them know. Everything I've been talking about can be rolled into one big word that you hear in this Hondo a lot: interdependence. It is a big word, but the meaning is actually quite simple. Interdependence is about all of us needing everyone else. It's about the fact that the things we do have an impact on the people around us, just as the things that other people do can have an impact on us. It can be a good impact or a bad impact. Before I started talking today, you said you would help others when they needed it, and that you would ask for help when you needed it. Do you remember that you said that you would make sure that you were feeling good, and that you would make sure that the people around you were okay? Let me remind you. I am a link in Amita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. You are a link in Amita's golden chain of love. You will keep your link bright and strong. That means you will take care of yourself. Get your rest. Eat the foods that mom and dad give you. And yes, that includes the vegetables. That's part of taking care of yourself. but so is asking questions. Are things going on that worry you? Are there times in the day when you feel uncomfortable about the people around you and you don't know what to do? Then talk to your teacher or talk to your mom and dad. That's part of taking care of yourself. You're reaching out for help when you need it. Being kind and gentle to every living thing, that includes your little brother and sister. That includes remembering to feed your dog or cat or clean up after them if those are part of your chores. It includes being a good listener when someone wants to talk to you. Protecting all who are weaker than yourself can be a hard one. It may be as simple as listening to someone, and then if it seems like they're in trouble or they're unhappy, letting your mom and dad know about. But remember, this is a private story. Telling mom and dad is your way of protecting your friend, but you should not speak about this with anyone else. Your parents will know the right thing to do. Sometimes it may even be mom and dad who are weaker than you. When they are sick or they're feeling unhappy, you could help them. Help them keep the house clean. Clear the dinner table, wash the dishes. Help them by not waiting for them to ask you to stop playing games when you know the time is up, or when it's time to go to bed. Sometimes even mom and dad could just use a hug. But back to you. Do you feel good? Is everything going well at school? Do you feel safe? If the answer to any of these questions is no, then talk to mom and dad. We all want you to feel good and to feel safe. Please join me in Gassho. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you.
Thank you to Mr. Jones. Now we will have Gatha Sayonara on page 103, we will have a farewell on page 45, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book and page 15 in the big book.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Whom God's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namu Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namu Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namu Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namu Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo
Amida Butsu. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Ms. Tanabe, and Ms. Jones, and to Organist Ms. Jones. Mr. Jones. Sorry. I cannot speak English today. Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Ms. Tanabe, and Mr. Jones, and to organist Ms. Jones. Are there any announcements?
While you're gathering up here, just a couple of reminders. Next week is Bodhi Day, and the Bodhi service will be here in the Hondo. And it'll start at 10 o'clock, and it'll be one service at 10 o'clock, family service at 10 on Bodhi Day here in the Hondo. If it becomes too crowded, we'll open up the windows and we'll keep the service short so that we're not freezing here. So Bodhi Day, and following in the afternoon is our annual general meeting of the temple. It'll be on Zoom, and we'll begin at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Following Bodhi Day service, there will be refreshments and exhibits by the Dharma School students in the annex building. So please plan to spend a little bit of time over in the annex following the Bodhi Day service. Junirai, the New Year's Eve service on December 31st, will begin here in the Hondo at 7 o'clock. That will be streamed on YouTube, so please join us either here in the Hondo or on YouTube. Our guest speaker for that evening will be Reverend Mikame, coming live from Shimane-ken, from her family temple in Shimane. She'll join us for that evening service. The reason we're having her join us for the evening service is because it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, she'll have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to join us for a 10 o'clock service, which she is willing to do, but I don't want to have her do that. Then on the Shishoye service, the New Year's Day service, 10 o'clock in the gym. So next week, Bodhi Day, 10 o'clock service, followed by refreshments and exhibits in the annex building, and then in the afternoon, our general meeting, annual meeting on Zoom.
Good morning. My name is Alyssa.
And I'm Chiami.
We are from Girl Scout Troop 61052. For our Silver Award project, we are building a lending library which will be placed by the Education Building. One of our goals for this project is to help keep Japanese culture alive in Japantown by sharing Japanese cultural books or any books for our community.
Please help us get started by donating books in the box at the entrance of the Hondo. We would especially appreciate any books related to the Japanese culture. Thank you.
I was thinking we would do something similar, but we're not. I'm Tori, and this is Krista. We're from DSPO. We realized that we sent an email out earlier this week that didn't reach a lot of families, but we'll have a parent meeting across the street as soon as service concludes. If everyone can join us, Steve Onishi, the Betsuin president, will be giving a presentation on the new Dharma Center, and then we'll go over some general overviews for the year. In the library.
Really quick, junior choir will be meeting today after the Dharma School classes. And then one other thing is that the Open Door Cafe Committee, the welcoming committee, is looking for help. They need help with just able-bodied people to help set up things. And so it doesn't have to be every week, but if anybody can help anytime, they would really appreciate it. And just talk to Emmy, who's outside at the Open Door Cafe currently. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements? No? Okay, just checking. Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten out all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or to visit the Open Door Cafe outside. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm your Bodhi Day chairperson.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, so
Okay.
what time do you want me to be here so I know what to do? 10:30. Okay, I'll be here at 10:30.
Okay. Ooh.
How you been?
Good. How's it? Good.
He's doing okay.
Good morning.
I wish he could be a little bit better, but you know, I take it every day.
Tell him I'm thinking of him. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you.
Next week we said how about it's right 8:45?
Yeah, we'll start at.
Okay. Like 8:45. Wait, no, we can start at 9:30.
Well, we can start. I was telling the group this one.
Because you might have some things to run around for, right?
Yeah.
You do
Well,
8:45 to 9:30.
okay. We can start at 9:30. I don't know service. So
Yeah.
9 o'clock.
You want to do 9? Or you could just do 9 to 9:30.
Because the service will start at 10. So if we go 9 to 9:30, that'll work out.
Okay, let's do that. And then meet same place.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
They'll-
I have to remind everybody because I gave them wrong information. I
It's
thought we
okay. I'll just text them. There's only 4 of them, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. See ya. Good morning. Good morning. Uh-oh. I'm sure they'll be back. I hope they'll be back. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
This is from my mom to you and Kame Sensei. This one shares with the bones on them.
Wow, how cool.
She wanted me to give it to you.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if you were asking anyone.
We do.
But yeah, she made them.
Yeah, that's very thoughtful. Thank you very much. I will be sure that Kame Sensei gets one. Okay, thank you. How are you doing, man? Good, Dharma school, everything hanging together?
I think they're doing great.
Yeah, lots going on there. There's a lot of pieces. Thank you. Good morning, good morning. Well, yeah, so, we'll kind of build back. Yeah, we'll be okay. Thank you. See ya. Buenas. Good morning. Thank you, thank you. Well, thank you. You ready? I guess we can get started. So, just have
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gloria Yamauchi, and I'll be your chairperson for this morning's service. Um, Before we get started, is there any new members or visitors we have in the Hondo today? Okay, we'll begin this morning's service with opening meditation of the Sambujo, followed by the Junirai. Sambujo is on page 23 in the large service book, and the Junirai is on page 67 in the large service book, and also on page 20 in the smaller Dharma School service book.
Ujo,
Next, we will have Gatha, I'm a Link in the Golden Chain, which is located on page 118 in the yellow Gatha book. So please rise. Afterwards, please remain standing for the three treasures, which is on page 3 in the small Dharma School service book. Thank you.
So it's this book. I'm a Link in the Golden Chain. This book on the second kind of page. It's like the second page. The pages aren't numbered. Yeah, we gotta fix that. Okay, so it's not in the little book. It's not in the big book. It's in the yellow book. Okay? Okay. I'm a link in the golden chain. Harmony may we all attain. Gentle to all living things, will unite us all as golden rings. I'm a link in the golden chain. Gratitude may we all attain. Bright and strong my link will grow, through pure and loving deeds I know. Pure and beautiful thoughts I will think, and pure and beautiful words I will say, and pure and beautiful deeds I will do for the world and for you. Spreading kindness and love every day to all living things that come our way. Amida's chain of love is bright. Through peace and love we will see the light. If you would please join now in the reading of the three treasures on page 3 in the Dharma School service book. And we're changing the reading of these three treasures. So it's the last verse of the unison reading, where we've said universal brotherhood in the past. We'll read universal oneness, okay? So we're going to change that in the book. But then we use our brains and we can change that brotherhood to oneness. Okay. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves our supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord, in your life of harmony, in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated. Good morning. We should have BWA general meeting every week. It's nice to see so many of you here in the Hondo today. Not so many that I think we need to be concerned about social distancing and wearing masks and things like that. But that we are able to join together in the Hondo is really nice. Being able to see you, and also those who are able to join us on YouTube, welcome and thank you for being a part of today's service. Yesterday, I had the opportunity of joining our BCA National Board meeting, which was held on Zoom. The day before, on Friday, the Kyokucho had a meeting, and this is a normal order of things, that this time of the first weekend in December, the National Board meets, and then prior to that meeting, the National Ministers Association chairpersons meet. And a Kyokucho is the chairperson of a district. So in Bay District, we're not Bay, we're Coast, that's right. So we're Coast District. Coast District, the chairman is Mukujima Sensei from Mountain View Buddhist Temple. But he was unable to attend yesterday's meeting because of a service. And for us to meet on a weekend is very difficult because we often have services scheduled on those days. And Mukujima Sensei was unable to attend. And after asking all of the other ministers in our district, who said no, they're busy, he came to me and said, well, do you have some time? So I said, okay, yeah, I'll go. And it's on Zoom, so it started at 9, and I wasn't able to stay throughout the meeting because there was a service that I had to attend to at 1:30. So I left at noon when they took their lunch break. But one of the things that came, and again, this is every year. This is a sequence that we follow. We have a ministers Kyokucho meeting on Friday. They discuss all of the issues of that the Minister Association might be facing, thinking about, and then that discussion and a report is brought to the National Board meeting by our Gicho, the head of the National Ministers Association, who is Reverend Harry Bridge of the Oakland Buddhist Temple. So he's our second supreme leader. The one above that is Bishop Harada, who is well, actually he's not the big honcho, because actually the main primary head of our tradition is, do you know who that is? Yeah, Karen pointed. His portrait is right there. That's the Gomonshu. So he is the religious head of our tradition. He is a descendant of Shinran, and he leads our entire organization, our world organization. Someone was saying that they would like to put that in a better frame. It kind of looks like we just stuck it on a wall. And it should really be given more, a better kind of a presentation. So working on that and hopefully be able to do that. But the Gomonshu is the head of our organization that has several, I think it's 5 international districts. And then in our district is the Buddhist Churches of America, and the Buddhist Church of America has 8 districts, and we're Coast District. One of the things that Reverend Bridge took to the National Board meeting was a discussion regarding the selection of our next bishop. And the bishops have a 2-term limit. There was a term limits placed, I don't know, maybe about 25, 30 years ago, where now bishops are able to serve 2 terms, which is, I think, for them too a relief that it's not going to go on infinitely, which in some cases lasted several what would be equal to nowadays to several terms. But after 2 terms, Bishop Harada's service as Bishop of the Buddhist Church of America will come to an end, and so we need to begin to think about. And there is a process that we have in place, and that process continually kind of goes through some revisions, trying to find a best way to have representation in the selection of the bishop, because that position is very important. Not only represents all of us at the Hongwanji, but also helps us to kind of give direction and know where we'll be, where we're moving towards, and what are the kinds of important things that we might want to be involved in, and where we might be able to improve what we do as an organization. One of the things that came up in this meeting yesterday, and I was actually trying to take notes. Taking notes for me is very difficult because when I'm writing, I'm not paying attention. And when I'm paying attention, I can't write. So one of the most difficult jobs, I think, in any organizational cabinet is that of the secretary, because the secretary has to not only pay attention throughout the meeting, but has to stay awake as well. And that's often a challenge for me. Zoom meetings are kind of fun because you can mute yourself so that when you're crunching on potato chips or doing other things, arare, it's not going to come up on you. I sometimes forget to do that at our in-temple meeting, because our in-temple Zoom meetings, my Zoom room is our garage. So I sit in our garage, I have a nice kind of background, a real background, not these kind of fake, blur you out kind of background. And I use an earphone that has a mic attached to it for my primary mic. And sometimes I think with my earphone in, I do that so that you can't hear what's going on in the garage. But I forget to mute myself when I put something in my mouth and start crunching on things. I think, oh no, they hear me crunching because I'm sure that crunching is really, so I turned that off. But anyway, yesterday's meeting, this national board meeting, one of the things that is new for our organization, our Buddhist Churches of America, is a committee that will be headed by John Arima of the Mountain View Buddhist Temple. And this committee will work on our strategic plan and our vision and mission statements. I mean, that may not be very exciting for you, but for me, we've been working on our mission and vision statement for, I think, about 15 years, 12 years, and now we do have, we even have our cards that I should have brought out that we can pass out to everybody. It has our mission on one side and our vision statement on the other side. And it's important for an organization, and we are organizations. We're a temple certainly, but a temple is organized. It has people in it, it has things that we do, it has different groups of people, we have different organizations. And so it's an organization that needs to kind of be sure or be clear about where we're going and what we're doing. And yesterday, when this was introduced at the national board meeting, I just mentioned that, you know, it's good for us to be doing that. The National Buddhist Churches of America be doing this exercise because it will clarify what we're about and what we're doing. And we kind of assume that we know what our mission is, what we're supposed to be doing. But I think as we went through that process, it took a while for us to clarify what that mission was and what we are about, where are we going with our organization. And the Buddhist Churches of America is in the process of doing that. 100 years late, but it's okay. I'm sure I will be able to work on this and be able to move forward with this vision and mission statement. One of the things I hope that will come out from this exercise is a return to an idea that I don't think it began with Shinran, but certainly it was an important part of his understanding, which was Ondobo, Ondogyo, to move together, to travel together in the Dharma, in the practice of the teachings. And this Ondobo, Ondogyo, you can see it throughout Shinran's writings and the way that he communicated with people. Renyo, a couple centuries later, also focused in on this idea of Ondobo, Ondogyo. One of the things that Daniel did, and I only recently learned this, Reverend Wandra from the Orange County Buddhist Temple has a wonderful presentation on YouTube. So you can go onto YouTube and you can find this. It's a presentation on Daniel and the things that he did and the time in which we lived and all the kinds of challenges that he faced. But one of the things that Daniel did was to have the services conducted from the Gaejin. So like we do here, we started doing this about 3 years ago. The idea was that when we conduct service, previously we used to conduct the services from the Onaijin. So the Hondo is divided into two parts, right? This Gaejin, this outer area, and the Onaijin, the inner area. In some Buddhist traditions, there is basically no Gaejin. Everything is Onaijin. Everything takes place within the Onaijin. There is a small balcony that might surround the Onaijin so that people can watch what the priests are doing. I remember at the Konpon Cho, what was it? It's a main temple on Hiezan that is a Tendai temple. It's a huge building. And the priests were in the Gaejin, which was, and they were conducting this service, Goma service, burning fire service. And the balcony, on the balcony around where the ministers were, the priests were, very few people were kind of standing, observing these rituals. So it's a very separate, the priests and the lay people were very separate. Shinran, as you may remember, called himself, well, he had several names during his lifetime, but one of the last things that he used, one of the last names that he used was Gutoku Shinran, so the short-haired fool. Short-haired meaning that he was neither priest nor layman. His priests would shave their heads, laymen would wear their hair long. But Shinran thought of himself as neither priest nor layman, and so he called himself Gutoku Shinran, the short-haired fool. But this idea of everyone together moving, traveling along on this road of the Dharma, I think is important in our understanding of what we do here in our temple. It's not the priest who directs, nor is the lay people who runs the temple. We share that responsibility, and we see that in our board as well, how the board is structured and how the lay and priests, and I am a priest, I forget sometimes. And actually, members of the Kaikyoshi, the ministers of the Buddhist churches of America, are actually missionaries. That's what the word Kaikyoshi means. Because we came, originally they were sent from Japan. So they were sent here to share the Dharma. And so the title of the priests of the Jodo Shinshu, of the BCA, are Kai Kyoshi. So we're kind of actually, we still considered within the Honganji, we're considered missionaries. But working together, Ondobo, Ondogyo. We share the teachings of the Buddha. We enjoy the teachings of the Buddha, what it has to offer, what it tells us about ourselves, what it tells us about the world in which we live, how we might observe and participate and engage that world. We know that at the core of the teachings of the Buddha is wisdom and compassion, right? Wisdom that allows us to see things as they are, and compassion, how we engage the world, how we interact with the world around us. We don't simply sit back, but we move in the world and respond to the needs of the world as best as we can. So as the Buddhist Church of America, at least from this conversation that we had yesterday, hopefully with John Arima's direction, leadership, it'll move our organization, our Buddhist Churches of America, toward this idea, a very simple idea, but a core idea of Jodo Shinshu, that together we share and enjoy the Dharma. Today, as we participate in this service, we are hearing together the sutra chanting. The priests lead it, but we hear together the teachings of the Buddha. We heard Junirai, a Gatha from Nagarjuna, praising the virtues of Amida Buddha and expressing his reason for his appreciation of the Buddha. And we hear that together. Although the ministers lead the chanting, we hear and we listen together to the teachings of the Buddha. I think over the years, and the level of the onaijing has been going up. But I think that level might be a response to the introduction of pews. In temples, often where we sit on the floor, the onaijing is lower. But I think the onaijing started to go higher because of the pews. In some temples, it's even higher. Here, we're kind of at that in between, hopefully not moving towards a greater separation of priest and lay, but rather moving together as Ondobo, Ondokyo. Thank you very much. Thank you for your presence and your kind attention this morning. Okay. At this time, let's see. Where's our chair? Oh, there's our chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rinban Sakamoto, for a very thoughtful and informative message. Please rise for Gatha Ondokusan on page 220 in the large service book, or also found on page 76 in the purple Dharma service.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
At this time, are there any announcements?
Hi, it's so nice to see so many people in here today. But I wanted to let you know that BWI members, we're having our general meeting in the Hondo after the service. So if you can please come up and oshoko and take a seat again, and we'll close the what do you call
Service?
it? No, we'll close
Oh, yeah. Okay.
the shoji screens, and we'll have our general meeting here, and then we'll go over to the annex for lunch. Okay, thank you.
Just a reminder, next week is our Bodhi Day service. Bodhi Day service will be at 10 o'clock. This year we're going to have Bodhi Day in the Hondo. So please remember that it's going to be here in the Hondo at 10 o'clock, and that's next week. Following the Bodhi Day service, there will be Dharma School exhibits in the annex, as well as some light refreshments. So please plan to come and join us for that next week, Sunday, 10 o'clock, here in the Hondo. In the afternoon, the general annual annual meeting will take place via Zoom. Is it Zoom? Zoom. It's going to be on Zoom. And that'll take place from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So next week, long day, Bodhi Day here in the Hondo, followed by light refreshments and exhibits of the Dharma School in the annex. Joyaya service, New Year's Eve service, will take place here in the Hondo at 7 o'clock. It'll begin from 7 o'clock. And we'll be joined by a guest speaker, Reverend Mikame. Well, she will be joining us from her home in Shimaneke. She'll be able to do that because our time difference, I think, is like 15 hours. So our 7 o'clock here will be her like 11 o'clock, something like that, the next morning. So she can join us for that Joyaya service beginning 7 o'clock here in the Hondo. The next day, New Year's Day, Shushoya service will be 10 o'clock in the annex. It'll be our first time that we'll have a major service in the annex, and Kevin says to me that we'll have everything worked out by then. Yeah, he's nodding. So everything, all our AV things will be worked out hopefully by New Year's Day. That will be again 10 o'clock in the annex. Okay. Any other announcements?
There's no other announcements. That'll conclude today's service, and thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Sumi Tanabe, Michael Jones, and organist Elaine Jones. Thank you.
Please come a full shoko. And again, BWA, if you return Oshoko and then return to your seats.